What's up, guys? I hope you're all doing well, and thank you so much for popping into my review for what might just be the most anticipated film of the summer. It's Superman, the start of the new DC Studios, directed and written by James Gunn, with David Cornsweet playing I can't even speak. Clark Kent and Superman. You also have Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, and coming in as Lex Luthor to take the shoes of Gene Hackman and the tiny, tiny shoes of Kevin Spacey, it's Nicholas Hoult, who is giving a great performance. I'll just say that off the bat. And that's how we'll ease into this review. We'll talk about the acting, because that's probably the most positive thing I could say, is these actors are acting their butts off in this film. They are trying so hard with the material that they were given. David Cornsweet is a great Superman, but he was just photographed like he was being shot in a NASCAR race or something. It felt like I was watching F1 all over again, because the action scenes of the film, if we're moving past the acting, which I think is fine, let's move on to the action scenes. The Superman movie has to have memorable action scenes. And does it have a couple moments? Sure. In the blink of an eye, they're gone. Cool visuals, which happen a lot of times in the film. This is a very good looking movie. It's a little too good looking, though. This feels like a video game. What this movie feels like is if I was playing a Superman game on the PS5, and just close your eyes and think about that, and then open them as you're watching the film and just see an action scene play out. It is so hyperactive in how the camera just zoop. I mean, I felt like I was like a fly, and it just was really weird. Do you remember the film Challengers? There's a shot in the film that the ball is on the tennis ball as it's going back and forth. That's how the cinematography is in this whole entire film when there's action scenes. And even sometimes when there's regular scenes, Clark walks out a door and the camera zips to the left to see Rachel Brosnahan standing there. And another positive, their chemistry is off the charts. The chemistry between Rachel Brosnahan and David Cornsweet is off the charts. They have great chemistry, but that doesn't mean she has anything to do in this film. She is only in there to be the romantic interest. Sure, she's a reporter, but we've seen these kind of story beats happen in so many films of just what happens in the film and how she's used. I was extremely disappointed. And Lex Luthor, I was so disappointed how he was represented in this film. I think he is great, and Lex Luthor is, and Nicholas Hoult. See, I'm getting their names mixed up because that's how good he is. That's the performance he puts in. But it's the dialogue and the story that he's surrounded in, and the god awful screenplay that everyone is just saying. I was hoping that they would shut up. There was so many scenes where I'm just like, oh my God, it feels like I'm falling down a hill. And at the end of the scene, you're at the bottom of the hill, and then another scene starts as boulders start falling on top of you. This film was a painful experience. I was so excited. I went in so hopeful earlier today. Just seeing the Christopher Reeves films, Superman Returns, which I think is an awful movie. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know what I would choose to watch more, this or Superman Returns. This is a more visually appealing film, and it's a shorter film, so probably this one. But I think they're just about the same quality for very different reasons. And I think that's James Gunn to blame. He was given the keys to DC, and I think they gave the wrong person the key, because he went in there and he trashed the place. At least for me, I can respect if anyone out there is going to see this film and love it because of its entertainment value and because of those visuals that didn't work for me. It's very subjective. These kind of visuals didn't work for me in a Superman film. They would have been great in a Superman game. You know what this film felt like? It felt like I went to somebody's house, a friend's house that had a Superman video game, and they said, "You want to play?" So I sat on the couch, but they never handed me the controller. This feels like a game that you just cannot play, an unplayable game. And how fun is that? Not at all. I did not enjoy this film. I think David Cornsweet was fine. I think he was great as Superman. I thought he looked a little too bulky as Clark Kent. It's just the way the movie was written. There's so many characters as well, and such a bonkers script. I'm not going to spoil half of the things that happen in this movie because they're spoiler territory, but it's so poorly written and put together and thought out. It seems like he was like, okay, I want to make this like a comic book. And he looked at the page and he brought it to life, but he didn't bring any emotion with it. He just brought visual after visual after visual. The screenplay is piss poor. And I love James Gunn. The Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, that screenplay could have potentially been nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay at the Oscars. The first Guardians of the Galaxy screenplay, I even liked the second film. And his Suicide Squad was well written, had decent characters. This movie, it is trying to set up so much in such a short period of time where he feels like you should know the information before you're even told it. And it's not fair. You feel like you're trying to understand, okay, who is this version of Superman? And throughout the film, you get pieces. And what they do, I'm not going to spoil it, but what they do with his parents in this movie just is such a disservice to the Marlon Brando character. It really made me sick. When I left the theater, I was shaking. I was walking down the stairs and I was shaking as I was sitting there watching this in 3D, by the way. The 3D really didn't do anything either. So if you see it in a regular IMAX format or Cinemark XD format, I guess that'll be fine. But I was just sitting there dumbfounded. I'm sitting there like, wait a minute. How could they fumble this again? This is Superman Returns. This is Superman 3. This is Superman 4. But the entertainment value of Superman 4 is better than the other two damn films. I would watch The Quest for Peace again over this movie. You got Christopher Reeve delivering one of his all-time greatest dialogue delivery ever.
Stop! Don't do it! The people!
The stuff's iconic, and I just watched this for the first time last week, and I fell in love with those movies. Not really the third one, but the first, second, the director's cut of the second is in my top 20 of all time. So going into this, it got pretty big for me because I fell in love with that second film, the director's cut of it. I think that's a great movie. This film has no moments like the scene in Superman 2 in the diner when Superman doesn't have his powers and he gets his ass kicked. You don't have a moment where Clark Kent is just trying to be Clark Kent. Clark Kent's barely in the movie. It's mainly Superman. And that takes out of a lot of emotion because the heart and soul of Superman is Clark Kent. And I believe that, and this film did him dirty. This film did a lot of characters dirty. The silly Schoonmaker character, or Thelma Schoonmaker, or whatever her name is, the Lex Luthor sidekick. She's been in previous films. She's in this. The way she's written is so cartoony. It felt like I was watching a Barbie movie. I mean, it just was not right for the film, and that just leads to so much of the comedy. The movie tries to be funny so many times. And I get it, James Gunn wants to make a comedy film, I guess, for a Superman movie, but it takes the comedy of like the cheesiness of the third and fourth film, and it adds that, but without the charm. And it doesn't work. This film is a total misfire. I despised it. I really did. Will I buy it on 4K? Guess what? I absolutely will, because this is a movie that you can have on in the back of your house playing while you're vacuuming or doing something. You're walking around, you can look at it because it's nice to look at. But once you sit down and get to know it, it's not a pretty picture, at least for me. I'm giving the film the same rating I gave Superman Returns, Superman 3, Superman 4, 1.5 out of 5 stars. I cannot wait to watch Man of Steel again at this point. Save me from this abomination. Guys, comment down below. Are you excited to see this film? I hope you are, because, you know, it's a movie-going experience. This is full summer blockbuster action, you know, spectacular. I mean, it's going to make a lot of money. It's a very nice-looking movie, very flashy, entertaining film. But for the hardcore fans, I think it's going to be split. I don't know. I feel like this can go down one road or go down the other. And unfortunately, the first 5 minutes of the film, I was like, wait a minute, this could be great. There is a text opening, like text that appears on the screen, I was like, okay, this is pretty awesome. That text was great. It seemed like the text that was supposed to be not spoken, but read by the audience, was the best dialogue he wrote than any of the spoken dialogue in this film, which just feels computer generated. The film looks artificial. It feels artificial. It just feels like, okay, this is Superman. This is the beats we got to hit. It gets too political, way too political. I just, it's trash to me. And that's where I'll leave it. I could go on. I mean, I'm really disappointed. I'm really let down. So that's where I'm at with that. Comment down below. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You can check out my previous reviews for Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, Superman 2, The Director's Cut, all of them. Those are up on the channel now. And we got a big one coming up for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I am sorry I ever doubted you. I am sorry I left you. I'm backed. I am so excited for Fantastic Four First Steps. I can't imagine it's going to be anywhere near the quality for this film. Fingers crossed. So that review will be coming in a few weeks. Guys, you can follow me on Twitter and/or X at Ranking72 and on Instagram at King Arises 131. That's been it for me. Thank you so much for watching my review for Superman. And until next time, over and out.